Hello guys, and welcome to the next video. Again, the mission challenges, again the next batch of 8, Moby Dick here, that's what I called. First one is a overtake session with the Eckardt Mustang on Trail Mountain. The next one is a 30 lap endurance race on Tsukuba with variable weather, but we will take a look at that at the end of the video. The next one here is the next acceleration drag race, 400 meters again. The next cone challenge with the MX-5, the old one. Then the drift mission with the 86 Group 4. Then the next fuel economy session with the old 2000 GT Toyota on Tsukuba. Then an overtaking challenge in the GT-R Nissan, and there's the last one, the one lap magic in the amazing NSX-R on Suzuka. So this is the first session here with the Eckardt Mustang on Trail Mountain. My time, well, has been decent. Nothing too great again. That my driving was. I mean, okay, I had one major mistake, so I probably would have been second on the time spreadsheet then without the mistake, the obvious one. But you know, it was still pretty good, I guess. So we're overtaking other American muscle cars with our American muscle car. This car here is one of those of GT Sport that won in international auto car saloons and fairs, you know, where they win awards, like real cars, you know, from privateers, private car owners, you know, private tuners and stuff, and they get digitally immortalized then basically in Gran Turismo. So that's pretty cool. The car itself is extremely difficult to drive, but it's still very manageable. This challenge I would rank it at a 7 out of 10, I guess, 6 out of 10. So let us now take a look at the acceleration test, the drag race. I took the 86 Group B rally car Toyota, and yeah, it very much smokes the poor Civic. Having all-wheel drive and being a rally car, you know, it's very good off the line, and racing tires, if I'm not mistaken, right? Pretty surely these were racing tires, and even if it were dirt tires, well, it's still enough apparently to easily win the challenge. Obviously you would also win it with the Veyron, but I thought I could take something else for a change. Now this one, this cone challenge with the MX-5, I thought was pretty difficult. Oh yeah, the acceleration test, by the way, I mean, well, it's a 1 out of 10 or 0 out of 10 if you have the right car, right? But because you have to use your own car. But here you cannot use your own car, and I don't know, I need to figure it out. I also thought this challenge is a lot easier with a controller than a wheel, I must say, so try that and try to replicate my lines. So here I wanted to show that I didn't even really touch the cone, and still well, it was counted as hit. So I don't know what happened there. I'm repeating it here again in slow-mo. Wait a second. Now here. So am I just seeing wrong, or that looked to me that I didn't even touch it? But as you can see, this little trick works. You just need to be very close to it. Maybe the wind, you know, moved it or something. I don't know. Okay, the next one here, a drift challenge in the 86 Group 4. Again, a rather decent run for me. Again, nothing too spectacular. I believe it was my first gold run. So you have this left turn and then right turn. And the thing with the wheel and controller definitely applies here as well, as in all drift challenges. They are really a lot easier with a controller than a wheel. So if you do have problems with a wheel, really just switch just for those, you know, forget your pride for a second and just switch for those challenges to the controller, and you will have a much more pleasant time with them. Much easier, really. Yeah, I just love how that smoke looks, you know, and the camera angles they use. Very well done, very spectacular. Alright, the next one here is with the Toyota 2000 GT 67 on Tsukuba. So that, I think, is the second hardest economy fuel challenge after the very first one of the mission challenges, but still, in my opinion, a lot easier than the very first one. So all basically economy fuel economy challenges are a lot easier than the very first one. Very PD polyphony digital like, you know, to make the first challenges the hardest. It doesn't go into my head, like, how do they test their games? But you know, anyway. So this is almost here a hot lap around Tsukuba. Obviously not 100%, but it's still a rather quick lap you have to do without obviously running out of fuel. There isn't any trick or anything you really need to know. Again, just try to replicate my throttle input, my lines and the gears, and you will certainly rather easily, if you try to copy it one-to-one, you would rather easily win this challenge. I will actually run out of fuel as I did in the very first timed, the hardest one, the fuel economy challenge. But still rolled, you know, crawled over the line and still got gold, actually with a really good time. But here we are driving the amazing 2016 JGTC GT-R Nismo on very fitting in Japan on Fuji, which is a great track for race cars, I think, for street cars. It's still pretty good, but I like to race it more in race cars. It's very technical, very quick, and you need a lot of grip, you know, to carry a lot of speed through those wide corners. And yeah, obviously that would be easier with a race car with the given aerodynamics and obviously especially the race tires. Here on racing middle, actually, so very grippy. The last challenge, the economy challenge, I would rank difficulty-wise as a, well, let's say an 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5 out of 10. It's fairly challenging, but again, yes, I will repeat myself. Very much easier, a lot easier than the very first fuel economy challenge. So as for the difficulty level for this challenge here, I would say that's 6 out of 10, possibly 7 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10, yeah. Relatively challenging, but after a few tries, quite doable. So the last challenge here before we look at the Tsukuba 30 lap race is a 1 lap magic around Suzuka and the amazing Type R02, the best and the fastest NSX of the old NSXs. So again, I cut as always out the waiting time for the other cars, obviously. And the first car we're gonna have to overtake is the S2000. So the game basically does it that the first car to start and on the starting grid is the slowest. The second car is the second slowest. The third car in the grid and to start is the third slowest, and so on and so on. So the last car to start before you is the fastest car of the field that you have to, well, hunt down on track. Here on sport hard tires, my driving was pretty sloppy, to be honest, but the game makes it really difficult to drive fast and clean. I don't know if it's really that realistic. I know it's definitely more realistic than GT Sport. Like, look here, what I've done. All this combination here, and then now again getting far too wide off track, losing a lot of time. Well, maybe not a lot, but still quite a bit. Was still good enough. Anyway, I'm not quite sure if it's really that realistic, because it's no matter what car, you know, even if you drive race cars, and there are several ones, it's not just one, not an old one, I mean the really modern ones, on racing tires, on high-speed ring, the last corner, the banked left-hander, right? The banked left-hander, so a left turn, that's what I mean, and the car still starts spinning out, you know, when you accelerate in a banked corner on racing tires. I don't know how realistic that is. So the cars are really loose and like to spin a lot, spin out a lot in this game, and I'm not quite sure how realistic that actually is. So this is my second gold run. Or the first one I actually got gold in, but the second one where I could have gotten gold. And the first one here in this turn here, the last right-hander. Now this little guy in the back, the Honda S600, or what is it, spun me out. He really just spun me out, and yeah, like, I was pissed a little bit. Anyway, I did it the next try, so it's fine. Not a spectacular time, but good enough for gold. So now for the final challenge, the 30-lap Tsukuba race. I did fast forward it 8 times. Most of the race, well, basically far over 90% of the race. Well, I mean, who wants to sit there and look at 30 laps, you know? It's just having it fast forward, it makes it certainly more enjoying and interesting to watch. And you see what happens, you see what gears I use, you see what car I use. So what is important here? You can use different cars. I would advise to use definitely a 4-wheel drive car because of the rain, as you can see here. An R34 is enough or good enough already, but is much more expensive than an R35. So if you can go rather for the R35, it's much faster and much cheaper, so that makes it an easy choice. Just have the standard sports hard tires, that's enough in my opinion, even in the wet. That was enough for me, if you're careful enough. Which I won't be from the next lap on, you will see. So in this lap, in the 9th lap, the track gets really wet, and I'm starting to, from here on, it was actually easy to see, so it's the wettest here, and I started to slid around. I needed to adjust my driving, but this car is still, even in these conditions, capable of keeping up with all the other cars and even overtaking them, especially the rear-wheel drive cars, obviously. Still making mistakes here, and again, there happened quite a lot. So the guy in front, this is a blue Supra, he will be the first later on. So here in the 12th lap, I went in because I didn't have any fuel. And you need to know that in the game, it's unfortunately you cannot see it here. I didn't know that you cannot see it here, and I'm not quite sure what exactly I did, but you can, what adjustments I exactly did. But you can, during the race on the controller or the wheel, adjust how much fuel your car is depleting, and I'm sure I did. I was like in the middle, or even on the 4th or 5th adjustment, where you are in fuel economy mode, and the car would still be fast enough to keep up with the others and overtaking them. As you can see, the track dries after the 12th lap anyway, so you can really absolutely replicate my strategy. With this car you will definitely win, with these tires and so on. You just need to be maybe slightly more quicker on average per lap, because my driving for the first half of the race wasn't that great, and avoid just the mistakes, you know, going off track, and you will easily do it. So this is basically the second stint, right after the first pit stop, which I could with different fuel economy adjustments from, I don't know, 2, sometimes I use 2, 3, 4, 5 a lot. so never really won, maybe in the beginning of the race. You'll need to test that out for yourself to get to the 12th lap what the best adjustment is, and you just take that until you're empty for the pit lane. Makes sense, you know, you can go quicker. So second pit stop expectedly at the 24th lap, again 12 laps, fresh tires. I'm not quite sure if I did take the full tank. I think I didn't. You don't need to, you can calculate how much you need. And then yeah, you're working your way through the field. You know, the track is, well, very dry already. And what happens here is that in the 29th lap, this Supra here, which is now in first place, there the blue one, he will pit. If he would not have pitted, I would not have won, because I would have run out of fuel, actually, as you will see here in the last lap, which I will show in real time. And I had to go into fuel saving mode on 5, so the highest fuel saving adjustment level or mode that you can again adjust in real time during the race on the controller and the wheel. And I even had to, well, drive with less than full throttle the entire last lap in order not to be completely depleted out of fuel. Just check again, because I didn't see it right, if I was full on fuel after the second pit stop or not. If I was, then you would need to basically replicate my strategy one to one. And if I was not entirely full, you can, to be a little bit more certain, just gets a little bit more fuel, like 1 lap more would be enough, and you can, or 2, and you could drive with well, without the fuel economy mode and just, you know, really floor it and certainly win. So difficulty wise, I guess this challenge, I think it's actually the most challenging endurance race of the mission challenges. I would rank it as an 8 out of 10, I guess, maybe 9 out of 10, but again, yeah, with my tactics it should be not be a problem. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. I hope that was a good help. I wish you good luck in your race, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.